All right. We are kicking this off, so welcome everybody. My name is Regan Archibald, and I am the founder of East West Health and Go Wellness. And today we've got a really special topic for you, and this is a topic that is all about some new supplement lines that we've got here at East West Health. And so this is a dream of mine that I had about 15 years ago. I purchased this domain called Einsteinsmedicine.com, and I said, you know what? I am tired of the supplement companies out there giving us inferior products, so I wanted to create something better. And as I looked into it, I realized, the only way I could create something better is to wait until Einstein had been deceased for over 70 years. And so that happened a few years ago, and I had an opportunity. I had someone, Designs for Health, they approached me and asked, they said, hey, why don't you create your own supplement line? You've got the knowledge, you've got the skills. And so I said, let's do it. And so we started with 5 formulas, and we're going to talk about those today. And these 5 formulas are Stem Boost. And so it's a powder, it's a shiitake mushroom powder. And we'll be going through each one of these 5 formulas. It's a shiitake mushroom powder that helps modulate the immune system. It fights cancer. I mean, it's just an awesome formula. If you're looking for a good protein source, 20 grams of shiitake mushroom protein source in there. Optimal movement. We've got Thyroid Connect, Energy Multiplier, and Intergenius. So today, that's what we will cover. And I think you'll find that it's there's going to be some great things that we will talk about. But the biggest thing I wanted to do was to remove each one of these formulas had to remove 5 other formulas. So we have our patients, and they end up on so many supplements. And even this morning when, my wife and I were taking our supplements, and I know it's romantic, we take supplements together, but as going through it, I said, okay, we can get rid of Boswellian turmeric. It's in it's in the optimal movement. We're able to get rid of a couple of the protein blends that we've got. I've been able to get rid of like 4 of my nootropic blends because of Intergenius. And it's been exciting because I've already seen it in my own medicine cabinet where I can kind of consolidate and get all of the features that I wanted and get rid of so many more. I mean, I've been able to get rid of berberine because it's in the energy multiplier. And then there's other things that I have in there. So if you look at how you want to feel, how you want your energy to be, the future of your health, then I believe that these 5 formulas anybody could be on and benefit from these. And so as we go through these, you're welcome to go to Einstein's Medicine. And actually, maybe I will take you to the website right now. We'll go on a little journey. And for those of you who are on Instagram, go to einsteinsmedicine.com, and let's see what we've got there. So I will pull it up as soon as Einstein's Medicine. And this design it turned out so great on Einstein's Medicine. But if you go to einsteinsmedicine.com, you can see it. So let me share my screen with everybody on the webinar, and then you can learn about Einstein's Medicine. So here it is. So Einstein's Medicine, you can go there and get your order placed right away. You can shop there and go and read what the formulas are about. Right now, the 5 formulas are all up here. But Stem Boost, as you can see, it supports the immune system. It improves the gut microbiome. It helps with the healthy inflammatory response, supports detoxification. And one of the things that, I can't make claims on these dietary supplements, so I had to pay a lot of money to have a legal team review every claim that was out there. So off record, shiitake mushroom has been one of the #1 most studied medicinal herbs for cancer, and fighting some of the effects of not only just cancer itself, but also with chemotherapy. It's been shown to help the body recover much better. Just been awesome that way. But the other thing is these shiitake mushrooms. It's the mycelium of the mushroom, so it's the budding part of the mushroom. A lot of the mushroom blends out there are just they're old mushrooms. They're trying to get as much volume and density as they can out of them. But the shiitake mushroom in the Stem Boost formula is very, very different. The way that the medicinal parts of the mushroom work is it's in that mycelium, and so it's great for inflammation. It's great to help with detoxification as well. Optimal movement. So if you look at optimal movement, it provides a comprehensive nutritional support for healthy joints and cartilage. And one of the ingredients in this is hyaluronic acid. Now, every single person that, every single piece of research that I've been able to see on joint degradation, what we've actually started to learn is that it is from a bacterial infection that can cause arthritis. And so arthritis is driven by two parts of your immune system. It's driven by IL-6 and then also by tumor necrosis factor alpha. And one of the most interesting things about this is with the optimal movement, the hyaluronic acid helps pull out the bacteria so your immune system can actually pounce on that. There's boswellia in this, there's turmeric, there's also a variety of different agents like the green-lipped mussels from New Zealand. And that's an interesting component because that helps with the collagen. There is collagen 2 in there, which comes from the sternum of chickens. And so the optimal movement is an amazing formula. Okay, energy multiplier. Now, energy multiplier is and we'll dive into more depth if we have time. Feel free to plug in any questions. Like I said, it's just me today, but I'll answer them the best I can. But if you look at the energy multipliers, it maintains healthy blood glucose and insulin levels. It supports cardiovascular health through its antioxidant properties and ability to assist with inflammatory response. So the thing I love about the energy multiplier is it does have banaba, and banaba comes from an Asian tree. It grows in the Philippines, it grows in East Asia, but banaba is something we've used in Chinese medicine, and it actually helps support the glucose transportation. So it makes your cells more receptive to insulin. And that's one of the chief ingredients in here. Berberine, of course, Huangliang, that's one of the 3 bitters in Chinese medicine and the Chinese pharmacopoeia. And so what berberine can do is it helps diminish the inflammation in your body. And so energy multiplier is amazing for that. The Thyroid Connect, if you look at Thyroid Connect, one of the biggest things it does is it supports it's got nutrients for your thyroid. One of those being American ginseng. Now, American ginseng, if you look at if that is not lining up, I'm just noticing. Okay, good. Quality control going on here. Sorry, guys. They got the wrong bottle next to Thyroid Connect benefits. So one of the big things that it does is the Thyroid Connect. It helps your thyroid connect to your liver and to your adrenal glands. And so the American ginseng does help balance out the cortisol, and it balances out the insulin so you can have proper thyroid release. There is some prolamine iodine in there, just a little bit of prolamine iodine because that's the main ingredients that your thyroid needs, but just a phenomenal formula for your thyroid. And then Intergenius. Intergenius, it will help improve your cognition, your mood, your memory. It's supportive recovery for the brain if you've had nerve injuries like stroke or concussions. This is where the acetylcarnitine is one of the most chief ingredients here. Also, the phosphatidylserine, which is in Intergenius, the phosphatidylserine has been shown to slow the progression of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, or multiple sclerosis. I just find with the Intergenius, it will help keep your brain feeling nice and balanced and alert. So those are the primary formulas right now. That's Einstein's Medicine. I'm going to go back and we will jump back into the PowerPoint and then talk about some details here. Did we get that? No. share. Okay. All right, here we are. Back in this. So let's start with the optimal movement. So the New Zealand green lip muscles. This is good if you've got edema. So if you've got some acute injuries, or if you tend to hold on to water, that's going to be a very powerful formula for you. Optimal movement's got the glucosamine sulfate. So this helps with the repair of your joint and spinal cartilage. Really good for the ligaments and tendons. We talked about the hyaluronic acid, the type 2 collagen. The optimal movement also has selenium in it, and selenium is a powerful antioxidant. It's right up there with glutathione. But what the research is showing is that arthritis might be partially caused by these free radicals that are damaging the tissue and lead to inflammation. So it's almost like chronic arthritis leads to inflammation, and inflammation leads to more inflammation. So selenium is one of those minerals that we all need. And then boswellia turmeric, there's been many studies that show that boswellia and turmeric together can outperform ibuprofen. And I've had many patients tell me we get them on the boswellia and turmeric, and then we put them on something like mitral leaf. And what they find is that they actually have less pain than they do when they're on their naproxen or some of the over-the-counter anti-inflammatories. Okay, so that's optimal movement. That's a little more depth there. If you are vegan, this is not the formula for you because there are muscles in it. Most of the other formulas, they're plant-based primarily. Stem Boost. This is what we had mentioned before, but it does support and modulate the immune system. But it's been shown the shiitake mushrooms can help boost the stem cell release rates in your bone marrow. So the bone marrow is where a lot of the hematopoietic stem cells come from. And if you have a nice release of hematopoietic stem cells, your body can literally just adapt and adjust to anything. So this also has cordyceps in it. And one of the great things about cordyceps is cordyceps helps with your testosterone. It helps with sexual performance, sexual function. It also is one of the longevity herbs. The Stem Boost supports detoxification and athletic performance. So just a well-rounded formula, our mushroom blend. And in this, there's only about 2 grams of fat per scoop. There is 6 grams of carbohydrates, 3 grams of dietary fibers, 20 grams of proteins, and it's a very complete source of amino acids. And then there's some calcium, 60 milligrams of calcium, 610 milligrams of naturally occurring sodium. There is 30 milligrams of potassium. So it gives you a lot of different nutrients there. There's 5 milligrams of iron for you who have anemia or blood deficiency. Stem Boost is a great formula for you. So like I mentioned before, this is the shiitake mycelium, and it's the highest quality of proteins. It's all grown organically here in the United States. Nothing's been sprayed on it. They're not trying to morph the mushrooms into creating more volume here. We're using the mycelium, so more the flowering part. It activates, some of the studies have shown, it activates 260 different classes of immune cells. It's 100% organic mushrooms, 100% bioavailable, non-GMO, and right here in the United States. So, all right, nootropics. So what is a nootropic? Many of you have heard me talk about nootropics, and you're like, Regan, what is that? Nootropic, nootropic, depends on, it's kind of like potato. People ask me, how do I pronounce this? But nootropics, what they do is they optimize your cognitive function. So imagine when your brain's performing at its best, like you're doing a live performance, or you're trying to remember something, or you've got a test at school. Well, one of the things that nootropics do is they protect and boost the functions of the brain, and they do that through enhancing or suppressing the existing processes. So if you want to perform at your best, you need to suppress some of the stress in your brain, right? And nootropics have been shown to do that. Nootropics, just by definition, is a mind-enhancing substance that improves mental functioning by increasing energy production and blood flow, altering neurotransmitters levels, and even making the structural modifications even making structural modifications to the brain. So I love nootropics. Dr. Guardier was the Russian scientist that was working with these Russian athletes in the 70s. And what he discovered is, he said, man, we've peaked out with the amount of physical optimization we can have with our athletes. Let's do something that really helps improve the mental game. And his hypothesis was that if we can improve the mental performance of these athletes, this is where we can really start to gain the advantage. And so Dr. Guardier went out and he was the one that coined the term nootropic. And he found that a nootropic, for it to be truly classified as a nootropic, it could not take from one part of the brain to feed another part. So you couldn't shut off, blood supply to the parietal lobe so that the prefrontal cortex got all the blood, which is what, a lot of the amphetamine-based drugs are on the market for ADD, ADHD, like Adderall or Ritalin. These deplete part of the brain. And so it leaves people with a deficiency. So yeah, if you take it, you'll feel better temporarily, but long-term, you're going to be depleted. And so, some of the formulas that he came up with, one of the first was the racetam family. And the racetam, that's where you've got like aniracetam, piracetam. These are all very powerful nootropics. But one of the things he discovered in there is that the only way a nootropic like the racetam families could work is if he used choline. And it took him many years to discover this. So let's talk about, some of the things. He's put out several different nootropics. One of those is a peptide blend called C-Max. And C-Max is a nasal spray. And it was based on the work of Dr. Guardier that the Russian scientists used this. And now in the hospitals, if you have a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, you want to get on some nootropics. You want to do something to protect your brain. Our typical process, if someone has a concussion, a brain injury, we'll do intranasal stem cells that will calm down the glial cells, calm down the inflammation. It will help form new neural growth and pathways. And then we'll use C-Max, which is a nasal spray that is peptides that goes right into the brain. And these peptides help improve the circulation of the blood. So it's this nice combination. There's another formula called cerebrolysin. It's actually injected. It comes from pig pituitary, pig brain. So I know that may freak some people out. And so if it does, I totally understand. It freaked me out too. I know the first time I was going to do the injection, I was like, but trusted the pharmacist who gave it to me, trusted the science that I've done, the research on it, and it really enhanced my brain performance. Typically I just do it for one cycle for about 10 days and then maybe do it again in 6 months. So I had just had stem cell treatments for my brain for the second time. And I said, I'm going to do some cerebrolysin, and really helps improve things phenomenally for me. So Intergenius, what's in this? Well, there are substances to help improve the blood-brain barrier and the absorption of certain nutrients through the blood-brain barrier. It increases circulation to and inside the brain. It helps with new brain cell formation, reduction of brain cell death. So it fights neural apoptosis. It is something that helps the cell membranes and the presynaptic and postsynaptic neurons. So that means that communication between, all of the neurons in your brain. It helps with cellular uptake, neurotransmitter synthesis. It's great for mitochondrial function, oxidative stress, amazing for neurotransmitter storage and release. Also great for neurotransmitter functioning and intracellular signaling from the neurotransmitter. So let's talk about the ingredients. One of the chief ingredients in here is the coffee fruit concentrate. And coffee fruit concentrate is also, we've called it neurofactor, and it's an extract from the whole coffee cherry. Now, if you don't like caffeine, this is got very tiny amounts of caffeine. It's 0.7% caffeine. So this is the important part of using coffee fruit concentrate. I realize that there's going to be some people who just don't don't do well with coffee, just remember this is the coffee fruit concentrate. So this comes from the flesh of the berry that surrounds the coffee bean. So this is not the coffee bean, but it's very powerful to promote brain-derived nootropic factors. Now, the best way to increase your brain-derived nootropic factors is to get out and exercise. But and sprinting and things like that are really good for your brain-derived nootropic factor. I was mountain biking last night. We mountain biked for about 3 or 4 hours until about 8:30, and so that is a great way to enhance your brain-derived nootropic factors. Just by using this, studies have shown that it raises your plasma levels by 37 to 54% of brain-derived nootropic factors. So one study showed a 206% increase in brain-derived nootropic factor and contained in structures called exosomes. Many of you know exosomes. That's in our stem cell product that can cross the blood-brain barrier. So this increase is not observed in subjects taking brewed coffee, green coffee bean extract, natural coffee caffeine, grapeseed extracts, or cholinergic acid. So that just comes from the coffee berry. So very powerful. Acetyl-L-carnitine. This is the amino acids, the synthesis of lysine and methionine, and this helps transport the cells and energy production from fatty acids in the brain. So this is where your fatty acids can start using, or your brain cells can start using fatty acid as this nice source of fuel. Phosphatidylserine. Phosphatidylserine is really important for the mitochondrial membranes. And once again, phosphatidylserine is also really important because it helps modulate the cortisol. It can lower the cortisol in your body and help you metabolize it more efficiently. So for those of you who have like a COMT, genetic variation like I've got, phosphatidylserine can be a savior for you. It's amazing. What phosphatidylserine has been shown to do is it increases energy consumption and may slow the progression of Alzheimer's and dementia. It helps with brain volume shrinkage. So if you're trying to lose weight, if you've got obesity, your brain is going to be shrinking from the obesity. And so phosphatidylserine is one of those great compounds that you can take to reverse that trend. It helps with cognitive and social behavior with people who have chronic neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, or Parkinson's, or dementia. And it also improves memory and general mental function, especially in the elderlies whose cognitive impairment is associated with excessive alcohol intake. And I know that's a problem that is not talked about very often, is the amount of elderly patients or people who are past 60 who become alcoholics. They're not working. They don't really have the social connections, and so they're trying to get their oxytocin from alcohol. All right. If you have not read my book, Brain Rejuvenation, you want to get that. That will give you some keys. All right. The Thyroid Connect, it's got the American ginseng. It's got the forskelly extract, which helps convert the T3 to T4 and helps the proper functioning of the TSH. The selenium, which we've talked about, potassium iodine, we've talked about. Tyrosine and copper is really important because that helps fuel dopamine and norepinephrine. So it's really important to have proper levels of dopamine in your brain, and especially with the thyroid, because you need dopamine to elicit the TSH response. And then it's got chromium, zinc, and manganese. These help support insulin with the chromium and zinc. And then the manganese is not only good for the cholesterol levels and glucose, but it's really good for your joints. So make sure you got a clean liver when you're doing that. Okay, so let's go to the energy multiplier. Now, the energy multiplier has some of my favorite ingredients. I've talked about berberine, very effective to support healthy blood sugar regulation and insulin sensitivity. Cinnamon is a carrier in Chinese medicine, so it can take the herbs exactly where they need to go. Banaba, I talked about that. This is grown in East Asia, very good to regulate the sensitivity of the glucose transportation into the cells. So you can use it as energy. And then there's the ginseng root, the fenugreek, the kudzu, and gymnema extracts. And ginseng, American ginseng is phenomenal, especially for you ladies. Helps stabilize your adrenal glands, stabilizes your hypothalamus and pituitary. The fenugreek gets rid of any mucus in your body. And then the kudzu and gymnema is very interesting because we used to put chocolate chips on the counter of my clinic, and we'd say, okay, taste the chocolate chips. What do you taste? And people would kind of roll them around in their mouth, and they'd say, oh, all right, Regan, it tastes kind of like, it tastes like chocolate. And you're right, it is chocolate chips, And then I would have them put gymnema on their tongue. And what gymnema does, we do the drops, the extract drops, it neutralizes the sweet receptors in your tongue. So you can't taste sweets, which is phenomenal because then you go to eat sugar and they put the chocolate chips on their tongue and they're rolling it around. They're like, oh, it tastes like plastic. This is nasty. What are you doing to me? And so the gymnema is actually really good for those of you who crave sugar. So try to give you all the keys you can. And that may be, that's it. So hopefully those 5 formulas, put those into your pocket as a foundational supplement line. Hopefully we can not only save you some stress, save you some concern about having so many bottles, which will save you money, but the real goal is to optimize your health and to do it by addressing all of these key functions. We'll have more products rolled out over time, but so far it's been a very exciting to see the feedback. I had a nurse practitioner at my Go Wellness event last weekend, and she's like, this is like a perfect supplement line, Regan. I wish I would have created this myself. So really appreciate you guys being on this. Look forward to hearing how you do on our new Einstein's Medicine, our new line of medicine. So you can go to einsteinsmedicine.com or stop by any one of our East-West clinics. Take care, everybody, and happy 4th of July. Holy smokes, tomorrow is the day.